Okay. So this is RC, and who are you guys?
I am Jackson. I'm a nobody, and this is the first time I'm using Skype.
I don't know who I am.
My heart does.
My name is Megamon, and I do YouTube stuff, maybe occasionally, sometimes.
Hello there, my name is the Camo Rider, and I'm planning to make some more either shit posting, maybe some heads up, and I'm probably gonna try to make a countdown channel eventually.
Can you get paid to be a shit poster?
Absolutely.
Really?
As long as it's ad-friendly.
I mean, yeah,
Oh.
I thought the Sonic the Hedgehog Twitter was proof of that.
Oh,
True.
okay.
Alrighty. So what were we supposed to?
You guys kind of make me feel bad, though. You make me feel as though I should have said it, like, along with my name. Oh, I'm also an aspiring game developer or something like that.
No,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah, you're good.
I mean, for me, it's a force of habit.
I just joined in. I was like, why not?
Yeah, Jack, you're more used to stuff like this, though. You're like in the video editing business, so.
Yeah. It's kind of a bad habit because like sometimes like even though I have trouble introducing myself to people, sometimes when I introduce myself, it's like it almost seems fake. It's like, hello, my name is Jack Butler. I do video editing. Like back straight in, like hand out.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny, actually.
Yeah.
It's really weird to like. My friends will tell me like, Jack, what the fuck happened?
I've been there.
So anyway, what have you guys been up to recently? Because it's been a while since I've talked with each of you, and well, except Douglas. But I see Douglas every week, so.
Yeah.
So what's going on, guys?
College.
Community college.
And I've been studying Japanese, and I've been watching some anime. By some, I mean a few months ago.
Okay.
In August.
I hear you. It's like, yeah, same here. For me, it's community college. I have 2 classes on 2 days. So I get like 3 days off a week. So that's hype. That's
Oh, lucky.
I'll probably get more when the next semester comes. Mom will probably make me go like four classes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm taking 5 right now.
Ooh.
Well, they're simple ones.
Right now, I'm taking 3 classes. 2 of them are game design related, and one of them is actually the last math class I need. So that's cool.
I don't want to take math next semester.
That sucks.
I don't have to take any core classes.
Lucky.
How?
I'm a filmmaker student. I'm just doing it for the certificate, not for an associate's.
Oh, okay.
So I get to skip all my core classes.
Okay.
I don't get the benefits of an associate's, but I do get to not have to do math.
Yeah, I took Intro to Cinema one semester. I think it was actually this semester last year, and I actually had a lot of fun with it. So I was kind of wondering, I wonder if this is something I would also be interested in doing. Because I do like movies, but I don't see too many of them. I mainly see movies with friends. So, like, I saw Baby Driver with a friend. That was probably the last big movie I saw, actually, but I do like to see movies whenever I can. So that would be something I'd be interested in, like, studying.
Cinematography is something that actually I think more game developers should get into, because I'm actually kind of sick of seeing the top-down angle from every single goddamn video game. But basically, the understanding of story structure and cinematic buzzword narrative is actually fairly important now in the gaming industry.
Yeah.
And I think getting a good grasp of how that works and how the public receives that is a really good idea. I don't think you need to take a class on it, though, necessarily. But like Hideo Kojima basically makes movies into games.
True.
Yeah, 20-hour movies.
And they still play really, really well, and he has great concepts. The storytelling is really good too. So
Yeah.
because he has that background.
Yeah, like with Metal Gear Solid 4, I mean, sure, it's a 20-hour cutscene, but the gameplay segments I thought were really good whenever you did play the game.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate because I've relegated myself basically. I've watched most of the Metal Gear series, but I've never played any of them.
Me either.
You gave me 2. I remember, Jackson, you gave me 2.
Yeah.
And I played a little bit of it, but not that much of it.
Yeah, the game does take a bit time to get used to because it's very archaic, I guess you can say, because it was made in the 2000s, and at the time it was groundbreaking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I still think the Metal Gear games on PS2 look amazing, technically.
Oh yeah, especially when you get them in HD.
Mm-hmm.
I tried the demo for, I think it was Snake Eater 3D. Is that the one that's on the 3DS?
Yeah, it's the only one.
Oh
yeah. It was interesting. It was not a gameplay I was used to. You definitely had to sneak around a lot, which I guess that's obvious because that's what the series is known for. But it was my first time experiencing that kind of gameplay, and I enjoyed what I played of it. But again, with so much going on right now, it's kind of hard to play every single game.
Mm-hmm.
I've played. You keep going. Sorry.
It was also a long time ago that I played that demo. I think it was like in 2011, 2012 or so.
Oh yeah, 2011 was like the year of Metal Gear.
Yeah.
It was like Silent Hill.
More than anything, I'm also disappointed in that Snake didn't come back in Smash.
Yeah, I am too.
Hey man, you know how much Keith Sutherland costs?
That's true.
That reminds me, I was watching a Did You Know Gaming video the other day, talking about how the voice actor for Snake was not supposed to be the voice actor for Snake. And
really?
That Kojima was trying to get someone else.
Yeah, Kurt Russell.
Yeah, that's him. And I think they came really close to recasting Snake in one of the games, but they wound up not doing it. Or maybe they did. I need to watch the video again, but...
They didn't use the same voice actor for 5 as they did for the other games. They didn't use David Hayter, I don't believe.
Yeah, that was it. For 5, they changed the voice actor. So...
Yeah. I haven't really played much of Metal Gear myself. It's ironic. I've played games that have stealth sections in it, but I've never actually played the game on stealth, on the king of stealth.
Yeah, the one that started it all. Now, have you guys ever played the old Metal Gear games, like the MSX, like Metal Gear 1, Metal Gear 2?
I have seen AVGN's review of the NES one.
Yeah.
I've seen Johnny's review on them.
You know
Oh, Johnny reviewed them?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did a whole Metal Gear marathon. I think he reviewed almost all the mainline games.
I'll need to check out his review for the first one then, because Johnny's a really entertaining guy.
He really is.
Oh, yeah.
I will cry the day he's like, okay, guys, I'm retiring from YouTube. I'm like...
He has to be in like his 70s in order to say that. So you got time.
Well, I mean, actually, on that topic, like, YouTube using AdSense for revenue is actually becoming increasingly less viable. Like all the mostly gaming YouTubers have been, like, their revenue has been cut a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of drama about that going on right now. I was seeing it on Twitter just today.
Yeah, it's kind of concerning, and the problem is that people now it's not just like one-man operations. These are companies that pay editors and stuff as well. So when you're not being ad friendly, people like Game Theory and Linus Tech Tips, they have staff members they have to like pay. Along with their house, along with their electricity, along with their food. And that's why I don't want to ever have to make a living off of YouTube, because that seems like hell.
Yeah, I'm not planning on doing that.
A lot of people are like, oh, you work on YouTube? That's not a real job. But the reality is, it is for a lot of people. They make their livings off of YouTube. I'm pretty sure Johnny makes his living off of YouTube. So
yeah,
it's kind of like important, you know, that they don't like do that because,
Mhm.
and why I say they don't do that, I'm talking about YouTube like screwing over content creators.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Because
it depends on how big they are,
Yeah.
how popular they are.
Yeah.
But even still, like, you know, Patreon is a great service that
Yeah.
allows a lot more videos to be ad free, and
that's
also
what
just a
Jim-
great way
Jim
to
Sterling
contribute
does.
to people. But it brings up the question, Digibro, he does anime videos, and he brought up the question, like, why you still use YouTube if we have stuff like Patreon? If I'm being paid through Patreon, why should I be on YouTube when it's constantly making its creators like suffer, basically?
And it's funny you say that because I see like channels like Saberspark and I think Game Explain has been doing it recently too. They have a Patreon, but like they don't advertise it as much, I don't
Yeah.
think. But Saberspark has like the Patreon advertisement in like every video of his, and I'm wondering if that's gonna become like a trend, like if more YouTubers are gonna have to put their Patreon in the. Oh wait, I think Alpharad does it too. Like at the end of the video, he has the Patreon.
So it's
Yeah.
gonna be, is that gonna be the new like, comment, subscribe?
Well, yeah, because it's their living.
So it's
I see
weird
a
that
lot of
it's weird that there's kind of like more videos that advertise their Patreons now because YouTube is not enough anymore.
I see a lot of I see a lot of countdown makers that I'm subscribed to have a Patreon, and I want to donate them, but I'm like, I don't know if I have the money. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I know for like Game Explain, it's like $1 a month is the minimum, maybe. Not sure.
Yeah, for most of them, it's $1 a month. Some creators just say like, yeah, just $1. We don't need more. Matthew Matosis, I believe, doesn't like having big donations through Patreon, since it's a monthly thing.
And
What about?
I guess a cool thing about that too is that they do like, I guess, art commissions on Twitter for Patreon.
Yeah.
Which
is
cool because a lot of their artwork is like, if you go on Twitter, there are some really talented artists out there.
Oh, they're beautiful.
Speaking of donations, doesn't Etika get a lot?
Yeah, he
from his
does,
donation?
but those are from stream donations because everyone like wants to donate to him on stream so they get their message shown. And he doesn't have a Patreon or anything like that though. He just makes his living off of the donations from his viewers.
Yeah, a lot of Twitch streamers do that.
Yeah.
Like,
it's nice that there's a setup for that. Because also that's used heavily for charities and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Do you guys participate in charity streams?
I do. I did it for Platform Mania.
I wasn't there for that.
I wasn't there for Platform Mania. I did see the official Sonic YouTube channel's charity live stream though. That was a lot of fun.
I remember
Extra Life.
Okay. Yeah, I remember the quarter guy did that for me, but I haven't really looked at them. I probably should. I don't know when.
Oh, apparently Johnny's doing a Mario charity race.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I loved his Pokemon one. I was only in there for like an hour, but I watched the replay of it. 24 hours. God damn.
I've only seen the Sonic ones.
Yeah. I've never gaming for 24 hours straight is crazy to me because even I game a lot, but I take a lot of breaks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You're a functioning human being.
Unless I'm playing Persona. In that case, I don't take breaks.
I don't sleep.
Oh, but right. What do you think of Persona 5? I know I'm like months late to this.
Persona 5 is one of the best Persona games objectively, but it's still not as good as Persona 3 to me.
Oh.
I have two here's the thing. I have 2 copies of Persona 5. I have the PS4 and the PS3 version. I don't even own a PS4. But I have it. Persona 5 is really, I think the most important thing about Persona 5 is that it actually, despite it being like a modern story, it is actually now timeless because it tackles the issues of using social media and stuff like that, and being so heavily involved in your self-image.
And your face off.
Yeah.
You're talking about the movie.
So what you're saying, Jack, is this game has stolen your heart.
Yes, it has. But I never beat it because my PS3 died.
Oh,
I
I
don't.
thought you did.
No,
By now.
I no, I posted it and I posted it on Facebook a long time ago. But my PS3 died because the power supply is out, and it costs a lot of money to get a new one for it. So I am planning to replace it eventually, so I can actually beat the game. But I do know the entirety of the story, because I watched spoilers because I don't want to have to delay my enjoyment of the story because my PS3 died. Which was sucked because I was right at I could have beaten that game that day. I was on the tail end of the series of the whole. Like I was fusing like a level 80 persona. I'm like, I'm ready for the final boss, and then it turned off.
man.
Oh my gosh, that's terrible.
So then I decided to play Persona 3 Portable again.
Luckily, I have yet to have any of my current systems fail on me. Like, I was really worried for a while that my original 3DS was coming very close to that. But luckily, I was able to get a new 3DS and just do a save transfer before that point. So that was good.
The first time I think that I thought to myself, well, none of my actual consoles have actually done that. Now my handheld, the first one victim that I had was my DSi. And I felt, it had my music on there. It had Photo Dojo on there. I'm just like, I could have, it hasn't turned on. It hasn't been able to turn back on yet. And then I tried to go on my.
I mean, I've had casualties on consoles before, but I mean, I'm talking about like my current ones, like from 2011 onwards, the 3DS, Wii U, the Switch, those stuff.
My DS, its left trigger, like this was a common issue with the DS Lite. The left trigger button broke. I sent it in to Nintendo because I had a warranty on it. They brought it back, and it was worse.
Yeah, I noticed that's a common problem with other people, but I've never had an L button on any of my DS systems or 3DS systems over the years break.
Yeah, I mean, granted, I already had a 3DS at the time, so it didn't matter too much. It was just nice to have my original DS Lite working.
I mean, there were times when my DS was almost dead. Like, one point I dropped it, and there was a black splotch on the screen. And I'm like, oh shit, is the screen, like, broken? But it fixed itself.
Huh.
Yeah, it's weird in my case that my L button never broke, because, like, for a long time, my favorite game on the system was Kid Icarus Uprising. And if you've played that game, you know it uses the L button constantly.
It does.
I remember trying to record a Let's Play for it using the stand. I actually hated using the stand. I don't get why. It doesn't make it more comfortable. It came with it and everything. It does not make it more comfortable for me. It's just as awkward.
I liked using it at first, but as time went on, it was kind of, I guess,
the 3DS is too small. Yeah, the original 3DS was just too small to really take advantage of something like that, because you have to be so close to it.
Oh, maybe your hands are too big.
My hands are too big. I didn't realize it at first, but when I held the Wii U, the Nintendo Switch controller, Joy-Con controllers, I'm like, oh wow, my hands are big.
Same. I was like, can I crush these with my hands?
Yeah. Which by the way, I've only casually talked about. I've only seen like occasional posts about the Switch. But what do you guys think about the Switch after like the months going on since it's been released?
Oh, I love it. It's pretty excellent.
I really want the game because a lot of good games are coming out soon, like Fire Emblem Warriors, and I'm assuming Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle is coming to the Switch.
Yeah, because they did say that they were bringing a Blaze Blue to the system, but they haven't said which one. And since
I mean, if they can bring it to if they can put Blaze Blue on a 3DS, they can put it on the Switch.
Yeah, I'm currently playing that right now. By the way, I'm currently playing that again. I'm enjoying it.
But yeah, I saw the Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle video today, and if you look at the character select screen they have an etc. section. So I'm like, I wonder what other characters they're gonna have here.
Paid DLC. Me likey.
Oh no, not Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite again. No.
I heard that the game was good, but just the business decisions were just terrible.
But that character roster just ain't right.
Hey man, who remembers the X-Men anymore?
Granted,
yes, Jackson, but what I'm saying is that character roster just ain't right.
Oh,
It's
I
not.
agree.
It really sucks because I know the game is incomplete. It could have not been released in a complete state.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
like
give it.
beta.
And I don't know why. You see, here I don't understand the game industry enough to truly understand what's going on. I only can go off of stuff like extra credits and other people involved in game journalism.
Yeah.
But why are yearly releases or why are they a thing? Why do they constantly rush out projects? And it's becoming more of an issue. And it's really frustrating because I just want a good quality, no bug free, no like super paid stuff. Like, why is it only JRPGs that are doing that? It's
By the way, if you guys haven't seen Liam Robertson's video on Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite that he uploaded a few days ago, you should definitely check it out. It's a really solid video that that shows kind of what happened behind the scenes with Infinite.
Okay.
Oh, did you guys see what the Infinity Stones in quotes? That
Yes, the Infinity Eggs.
Infinity eggs.
Infinity eggs? What?
What?
What
Okay,
is-
so like
I was just
back
reading
to,
through a
like,
NeoGaf post about that when the game first came out, and it was
Mhm.
hilarious.
So Douglas, what happened is, if you, I don't know, was this a pre-order bonus or was it like a special edition?
It was a special edition. It was
Okay.
it was like the head honcho special edition. Like it was the one that came with like the Mega Man X and the Iron Man statues and all of them.
Okay,
Like, it
so
was the most expensive version of the game.
yeah. Oh wow, so it's most expensive. So you buy it, it comes with these Infinity Stones, which you're thinking, oh cool, I get these little Infinity Stones. They're just eggs colored to look like the stones.
Wow.
Like you'd be better off getting Easter eggs.
The thing that makes me really depressed about that game is when they first revealed it and they had X on there. I was really excited because I was like,
Yeah,
"Oh
same
man,
here.
oh
I was
man,
still hyped.
they're bringing back they're bringing back X for a fighting game. That's so great, Mega Man X, baby, let's go!" And
Yeah.
there hasn't been a single character announcement since then that has gotten me
Oh,
as
that's
excited
frustrating.
as I was for X.
Wow.
Like,
Yeah, they really dropped the ball with their hype. I'm like, I was still excited for the game, but I'm like, they could have brought a lot of people back because then Arc Systems came and they just killed them.
I mean, I'm
Blaze
still
Blue.
not a huge fan of fighting games, but I feel the pain that a lot of the fighting game community is feeling about that
Oh
whole
yeah, same.
thing.
I'm a fan of I'm a fan of fighting games, and I kind of felt bad. I felt kind of bad for it.
I'm still kind of a noob in terms of like those 2D fighting games,
Mm-hmm.
but
I
'cause
literally
obviously-
play the Persona fighting games for the story.
obviously I played Smash, but like outside of Smash, I haven't played too many. I've dabbled a bit in Persona 4 Arena and Blaze Blue, and obviously I've played the hell out of Fighting Climax when it came out.
Hmm.
So
I'm playing Blazer right now. So far, I've been trying to learn a lot of the characters' moves and stuff. And so far, I think the easiest ones that I'm kind of getting the hang of is basically Ragna and Noel.
Man, I want to play Blaze Blue so bad one day. The only thing I know about it is the characters. Like I know Ragna. Hazama has definitely got my interest because I love villains like that.
It's like guys who are basically just sadists. Guys who are
Yeah,
basically
pretty much.
yeah. But I have an interest for the psychotic myself.
yeah, Cross Tag Battle might be my first Blaze Blue game if I don't
Mhm.
get the 3DS one. But I was
Okay.
thinking, like, if I get the 3DS one, is that the second game in the series? Like, the one
It's
that they released
in-game.
on 3DS?
Continuum Shift 2. Why they call it 2, I don't know.
Okay, so, like, should I play games? Like,
Should you play games? Yes.
no, shut up, Jack. Should I play the games that came before it, or do you think that's a good entry point for the series?
I would, if you want to play for like the story, then yeah, I recommend you like get your Xbox or PlayStation and get Calamity Trigger. If you just want to get into it, I think Continuum Shift 2 would be a good thing.
Well, I know I can get the first one on Steam, but
yeah.
I always wind up missing their sales because it goes on sale. I think the last sale it was on sale for 99 cents,
Yeah.
and and I missed out on it. So I was like, oh man.
Yeah, that's really frustrating.
I've only gotten a
Yeah.
lot of free to play I've only gotten a lot of free to play games on Steam. I haven't really
Douglas,
gotten.
here's a pro tip: add as much as you can to your wish list, and they will send you an email whenever the games on your wish list go on sale, so you can snag them at a really good price. Because
Thank you.
I've saved probably like hundreds of dollars just waiting on like sales. It's excellent.
A lot of
know
times
that.
though, like I already own a lot of the games I want on Steam. I already own Conception 2, The Walking Dead, the 2 Danganronpa games, and now eventually a third. I'm probably gonna own all of them on different systems, but I just sort of want to buy them again.
Yeah.
For me, it's kind of like if I don't already have the game and it's on sale for a really good price, then I'll buy it. Also, if it's on PC, then it's most likely going to be on PS4 and Xbox Ones, which are systems I don't have. So obviously, I'm going to get the PC version. Like Cuphead, for example, was a game.
Oh man,
that just
That
came
looks
out.
good.
Dark Souls 4.
That looks good.
It looks like a really fun game, but I don't have an Xbox One, so I can't play
that
it
game's
on a
gonna
console.
kick my ass.
I have.
But
I'm
I do
terrible
have a
at
PC,
platformers.
so I can get it on PC. Which, thank goodness that the developers or publisher or whoever made that decision because I get to play the game. Yay!
Oh yes, that reminds me. Speaking of Cuphead, hold on. I just did this earlier today.
Yeah,
Earlier
I know
today.
the meme Cupsules.
Oh yeah, I love that.
Oh my god, that's a okay. That's really. Oh my god.
I was like retweet. I just said retweet this and see if something stupid shitted under it. I'm like, I don't.
Amazing.
Let me try this. Let me see my luck. And then Colin just sent me that picture. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, that was me that saw that on Twitter. I was like, oh, Douglas should see this since he's the one that retweeted it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, speaking of recently released indie games, Stardew Valley is now on the Switch.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
I heard that.
How long has that been out? Like a year?
I heard.
Yeah, it's been
Harvest
at.
Moon.
Yeah, it's Harvest Moon, except it's not boring. I love
Hey,
Harvest
hey,
Moon, by the
that-
way.
That's so
I
good
love
to hear.
Harvest Moon. It's so hard to get into Harvest Moon, but with Stardew Valley, it's so much easier because they don't pelt you with tutorials. Because like for the first 2 weeks of Harvest Moon, you are pelted with tutorials all over the place.
Huh.
And it's really slow and it's boring and it's so hard to get into. Stardew Valley is a perfect farming game, unless you count the Rune Factory series, which is even better to me. But also, I'm one of those weird people that actually likes farming games, though.
Yeah, I'm not into those. I like the patience.
It's just like it takes. I think for me, the flaw of farming games is that you have to know that you're gonna spend like 50 hours into it to get any decent progress.
Yeah, life.
Yeah,
Huh.
that's
haven't
why
really-
it becomes your life.
I haven't really gotten too much into farming, unless Fire Emblem Fates counts, because I basically grew a lot of bread there. I grew a lot of.
I haven't. Oh man, I deleted Fate such a long time ago.
Damn.
I don't know. I don't know. I know. I muted the Fire Emblem chat, but how many developments have gone through the Fire Emblem stuff? Fates.
What do you
I've
mean?
only.
Wait, is Fates the mobile game, right?
No,
Yeah.
it's Heroes.
Oh
No,
yeah.
that's-
Heroes is the mobile game.
Oh,
Fates
wow,
was
that-
3DS.
Bleh, sorry, totally confused the two.
Dead.
It's okay. I did that in the early days when they announced Warriors, and I got Warriors and Heroes mixed up.
Same
Oh my
here.
god, same.
Same.
I am ready for Warriors. I'm also not ready because I spent like 200 something hours in Hyrule Warriors. I'm not ready. I don't think I'm ready for that type of time commitment again.
It's okay. I
can't
never played Hyrule
yeah.
Warriors, so.
I'm
I'm
waiting
good.
for.
Fire
I'm
Emblem
waiting.
Warriors makes way more sense to me than Hyrule Warriors, though.
Well,
I'm.
I don't know, because when I played Hyrule, well, no, I didn't play Hyrule Warriors, but what I saw of Hyrule Warriors, sorry, I haven't played it, but like from the Game Explained stream of it back when it first came out in Japan, like from what I can tell, that's a fan service game. That's like a celebration of like Zelda, and
Yeah, but you still
It
don't
kinda
need to be a
reminds-
fan to get into it.
Because it kind of reminds me of like Sonic Generations in a way, where they take all this stuff from like the past games and just like throw in references and stuff, and everyone's like, "Oh yeah, this is so cool," and that's kind of like what Hyrule Warriors was to me. And with Fire Emblem Warriors, it kind of seems less like that because it's the two most recent games and the first game.
Yeah.
Don't worry, there'll be the billion. Like you'll basically pay twice the money for all the DLCs to get all the old characters.
Yeah, and that's annoying because
Warriors.
They did the same thing for Hyrule Warriors, which I'm not sure if I'm a fan of that. I'm like,
I wasn't a fan of it. I did pay for it though because I was gonna get content out of it still. So it made sense for me. But yeah, that is sort of upsetting.
Because it's Koei Tecmo that makes Hyrule Warriors and Fire Emblem Warriors, right?
Yeah. And Team Ninja helps, right?
Yeah, so
yeah.
I'm guessing their DLC strategy is much different from Nintendo's strategy.
Yeah, they released it in packs, and they're not honestly that expensive, and you are going to get hours and hours of gameplay as long as you're already invested in the core, like, you know, in what the gameplay provides. If you don't want to go through the grind again, like if you put it down, the DLC isn't going to make it worth it to go back. It's mostly if you kept on playing it because they expect you to spend like 500 hours in the game.
Which they basically succeeded in one
with
guy.
Nintendo and what they did for Awakening, Fates, Super Mario Bros. 2, no, not Super Mario Bros. New Super Mario Bros. 2.
Whoa, they had DLC all the way back to the NES.
Well, actually, they did if you count the what was it? The BS games, the BS Zelda, the BS Fire Emblem. Those were like kind of DLC games.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Sega had that Master System like channel thing.
Yeah, Sega had something like that too, but that was they didn't have any exclusive games. I don't think, did they?
No, they did. They had Wily Wars. That was an exclusive game.
Oh, Wily Wars. Okay.
Yeah, the Wily Wars. There you go.
Oh yeah.
That's
released only in Europe, physically.
Yep.
Wow. Thanks, Capcom. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, what American want to play all these Mega Man games? Clearly, the Europeans want them.
Yeah.
I don't know how popular Mega Man is in Europe, but
I don't know. I barely know. It's really weird to think, like how Europe, like. Did you know that most of their games had to be slowed down or sped up to keep with their screen's refresh rate? Because their screens are 50 hertz instead of 60 hertz?
I do.
That messes with my head.
There was a big uproar about that on the Virtual Console, because for Europe, they would re-release the Virtual Console games in the original frame rate and the original hertz, and people were complaining about that. Like, for us,
because it's just...
it's like, they really did not want to play, like, those old games. And they wanted to play them how they were originally meant to be played.
I don't know why that happened though. I don't know what. I still need to do more research into it. It's something I'm curious in. Like, just why is 50 hertz the standard instead of 60 hertz?
Yeah.
Anyway, what I was saying was, it's interesting how because New Super Mario Bros. 2 was the first game Nintendo did DLC for, and then after that they had Fire Emblem Awakening, and then a layer down the line they had Smash 3DS. And I'm sure there's more I'm just not thinking of, but those are the major ones in my eyes, because those were like the ones that kind of standardized. They were the first and the biggest ones. Pikmin 3 too, but
Pikmin 3 though was absolutely worth it. I love Pikmin 3. It deserves more money.
I have not played a Pikmin game.
Nintendo's
I haven't played a Pikmin.
Is to make the game. Right, just make as full of a game as possible, like they were in the GameCube era or something. Just make the game as fully complete as possible, and then, if to make more money off the game, release more content for it.
Yeah,
like build brand new content from the ground up for that game, and then which I like more, because if I remember for Echoes. When that game came out, and I guess Breath of the Wild is kind of doing this now too. They had this content already ready, and they're just like, okay, well, we'll release it later on down the line.
You know, when you said Echoes, I thought you were talking about Metroid Prime.
That's weird.
Yeah, Metroid Prime 2 Echoes.
I was just
Oh,
said
yeah.
Prime 2 in that case. But yeah, I was thinking. I don't like how they're doing Echoes and Breath of the Wild's DLC. It just doesn't seem right, and I understand that Nintendo changes as time goes on, but
Yeah, and they're still trying to figure out online, which is sort of dumb.
that's extremely
Yeah, how about
dumb. I like.
voice chat?
Yeah.
Also,
I'm kind of
does-
hoping that when the paid service rolls out, they won't end up having as much DLC for their products. I hope so.
No, because I like the concept of DLC as it happened in the games I mentioned earlier. They make the game as complete as possible, then release more content on top of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, PC games did that in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think it's cool what they're doing with Splatoon 2 and ARMS also. They just have the full game. Well, maybe not the full game in Splatoon's case. I don't know.
Basically, it's all free DLC.
It's all free DLC, yeah.
Yeah. Which, by the way, Splatoon 2, I consider that a system seller to me. Like, that sold me basically on the Switch.
I want to say
it sucks though, because Splatoon 2's free DLC, it's rolling out really, really slowly. Because Splatoon 1 had constant updates. I had that almost day one. And Splatoon 2 definitely has a lot slower updates, which is kind of frustrating.
Well, Jack, here's the thing about that is, remind me, when Splatoon 1 first came out, it didn't have that much content, right?
No, yeah, it didn't. It had 4 maps.
Yeah, so the updates kind of needed to come out for that, like, as soon as possible, because they kind of just released it almost before they should have, to be honest. But the updates were free, so I think the way they did it was also fair, but I feel like, I don't know. But in Splatoon 2's case, they have more content off the bat, right?
Not that much more, honestly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and that's what makes it frustrating as a longtime player. As someone that is borderline competitive with Splatoon, it's really frustrating to see these updates roll out so slowly, especially when the first game already had all these weapons laid out, and some of them aren't even in the new game.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's really weird in that case, then, because I was under the assumption, if it's the sequel, it's going to have more content right off the bat than the first, and then the updates would.
I mean,
be
in the single player, has more content because I just 1000%ed that.
1,000, you say?
1000%. That's what it calls 100% in single player.
That's
because
1,000.
I finished every single map with every single weapon and I got every single scroll, map, salmonoid thing, everything. I got everything.
Because when you say 1,000, when you say 1,000% completion, I think, that's what it tells you when you 100% Breath of the Wild or Xenoblade.
I don't ever want to 100% Xenoblade again.
I'm never
planning on
100% Breath of the Wild.
I'm never 100%ing Xenoblade. I'll just get some stuff. I'll just do some quests, see if I'm lucky, and see if I get good stuff.
Also, 100%ing it makes you so overpowered for the final boss. It's not even funny. It's like a 2-hit almost.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild's final boss. Oh man, that was so easy. Like, I didn't get 100% on the game, but I did quite a few shrines and got quite a few upgrades. And I got all the divine beasts beforehand too. That was a pushover for a boss. I died once.
Yeah.
Also, can we just talk about how they should have made it so that instead of game over, it said you died in Breath of the Wild? That would have been a lot better.
You died.
You died.
Whoa.
That's something Cuphead does.
It should have been the game always screen from Zelda 2.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm happy that Breath of the Wild was such a big thing. I'm waiting until winter though to play it because I'll just be in the mood for an open world game at that point. Open world is really weird because I actually don't like open world all that much.
Why are you waiting until the winter? Xenoblade 2 comes out then. Are you really going to play 2 open world games at the same time, Jack?
I'm reserving Xenoblade 2 until the summer.
Okay.
because that's a summer game. That's a summer RPG. I can't deal with that in my regular life.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do Xenoblade during the summer. I was lazy, and then during like July to August, I was doing work, so I'm just like,
Oh,
Yeah.
Well,
Also, by
personally,
that point, a
Oh,
100% guide will be out, so I can 100% Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and then never touch it again.
Oh, Douglas, that replaced Xenoblade with Lost Odyssey, and that was me this summer.
oh,
Like I don't play the beginning of Lost Odyssey, and I'm like, I'm gonna play this game for the summer. And then I never played it, touched it ever again.
yeah, yeah.
I have
I'm
so many
lazy.
games on my shelf that I've never beaten. Like, so many 3DS games. Just waiting to be beaten. Nope.
Still working on Bravely Default, and I recently like put Fire Emblem Echoes down for a second
I,
because
recent,
reasons.
I recently picked up Stella Glow again, just because, you know, why not? It's been a while since I played it, and the main reason I
Is
got
that
that
game
game.
good?
Short answer, yes, but the main reason I got that game was because I was kind of needing a Fire Emblem fix, because I had
Mhm.
beaten Awakening a while before that, but Fates was coming out, and they announced it, and I was like, oh man, I'm really in a Fire Emblem mood, but I didn't want to play Awakening again at the time, which I kind of want to replay Awakening now.
Yeah, same here.
But at the time, I didn't want to. I had just recently beaten it, so, or just recently, like, I was not in the mood for Awakening at the time because I had beaten the game already.
Mhm.
I don't know how recently it was. Sorry, I just want to be as accurate as possible, and I'm like thinking at the same time. But regardless, my point was, I was in the Fire Emblem mood, but I was done with Awakening for the time being. So I picked up Stella Glow because it looked kind of similar to Fire Emblem, and
Okay.
I've heard it compared to like some of what's the studio's name? Imagi
Monolith?
Hawk.
Yeah,
They've
I think so.
They've made a couple of critically acclaimed RPGs in the past, but they were going bankrupt. So this was actually the last game they made, and the only reason they were even able to get it out in Japan was because Sega was publishing it for them.
Oh,
Mhm.
So is this their Final Fantasy?
Yeah, in a way. And so yeah, it's a fun RPG when you actually get to the gameplay elements of it. There's a lot of dialogue in this game.
Well,
Yeah.
it's like an RPG.
Oh yeah, you showed me a bit of the demo of that. I remember the game now.
I'm really worried about playing games like, well, I don't know, a lot of JRPGs recently because I'm never sure if the story will actually interest me at all. The gameplay can be and I'll stick around for the story, but a lot of times I'm getting really sick of the tropes in JRPGs because it's just anime tropes, but you have to play it through with like 80 hours with these same archetypes. And it's kind of frustrating, so I don't know, is Stella Glow any different from that?
I wouldn't know because I haven't played as many JRPGs as you.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah,
the main RPGs I play are like I've been trying to play Bravely Default, and I've played Pokemon, played Fire Emblem, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been trying to play Eternal Sonata, but I'm stuck on the sewer level, and I'm like, I'm putting this down. I'll come back to it.
Oh,
Never
I have
got
that.
it.
I have that game too. I haven't touched
Oh,
it.
I like it so far.
That was recommended to me. It was it's on the PS3, right?
I have the PSP version. It's like an extended version. It's like more stuff in it compared to the 360 version.
Mm-hmm.
Wait,
Yeah.
I might
swear,
be thinking of
Jackson-
something else, but
I swear Jackson's feeling is almost similar to me. I was just trying to enjoy. Usually when I'm playing a game, I'll just be going to like a set pace and say, let's see how far I can go. If something challenging comes up, I may just like put it up. Yeah, I finished like Alm's part in Act 3. Celica, still working on that. Why? Because the Temple of Mila, it sucks.
Oh,
oh yeah, that was a pretty tough
Oh,
part of
man.
the game. But you haven't seen anything until you get to Yui Baba yet. Oh man, I hate Yui
yeah.
Baba.
The final
What game
boss
is
is
this?
bullshit, by the way.
Final boss is what?
Oh, what game?
Echo's final boss is bullshit.
Oh,
I
okay.
hate it.
Oh yeah.
All like
I really
because
want to talk
it
about it, but we can't spoil it for anyone. So
Well, I hear.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna lay out what the gameplay aspects of it to be forewarned. Train all of your characters because you might be forced to use characters that are extremely underleveled,
you have
and
no
that's what
idea
happened to me.
how many times I had to use. It's a good thing I had at least 2 healers, and they had this ability to just heal everyone around them.
Yeah.
Because that really came in handy. I needed that healing for everyone.
Despite the final boss, though, Echoes is my absolute favorite Fire Emblem game out of all of them I played, and it's nice. It's nice to have a Fire Emblem game that I actually super duper like, because I like the other games. I just it's not my favorite, but this was definitely one of my favorite ones, which is nice.
You finished Awakening. Did you ever finish Fates? At least Conquest?
This story bugged me too much. Like I did continue past the choice, but the story bugged me too much.
Yeah, everyone says that.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not the only one that wasn't too enthusiastic about Fate's story.
You know, I wasn't too hyped, but I didn't think it was. You know, I agree the story wasn't great, but I didn't think it was freaking Sonic 06.
Oh no, definitely not. Not that. It's not that bad. I just, I'm about to say something controversial. Like it reminds me. It doesn't remind me, but it's kind of like I don't like Persona 4's story. And
really?
yeah, and it kind of, I don't know why, but it somewhat reminded me of why I didn't like Persona 4's story. I don't know. Something about it felt similar to that.
Oh.
Persona 4, I think Persona 4 has fantastic characters. I think it has fantastic character interactions, and the characters' reactions to the story is really cool. The story itself sucks. And I've been meaning to make a video about it, comparing it to Persona 3's story and its pacing and all that other stuff.
Okay.
But I lost all the video files for it, so I'd have to play through both the games again, which I'm not really willing to do at this time, because that's 80 hours of recording both games.
That sounds like my opinion on Fates, to be honest, because I do like the characters.
Yeah, it's not enough to really carry me as much.
Yeah.
And I think it's also an issue with like the density, not density, but like how many characters they have to write. I think other Fire, I don't know, are the parties significantly bigger than older Fire Emblem games?
Well, for Awakening, you have the children from the future, so that automatically like boosts the roster. Not exactly by double, because not every character in that game has a future child, but
yeah, somewhere just Avatar only, so it was just basically your child.
Yeah, and then in Fates, they also had children, but I think a lot more of them had children. They made it so that, because for Awakening, it was I don't know how to describe this, but the child belonged to the mother in Awakening, and whoever the father was, they would get like the hair color from the father or whatever. In Faith, it was reversed.
Yeah.
But for Fates, yeah, and Awakening too, they have bigger rosters simply just because the children.
Like I'm playing Genealogy of the Holy War. It's an alright game. I'm enjoying it.
Oh yeah, that's another one that has children, but they are implemented differently. It's like after the main story.
After the first generation.
After
I'm on the
first
second
generation.
I'm on
their
the
story is done, then they.
So are they like New Game Plus?
No, it's still on the same game.
It's still all one story. It's just
the
way they handle it is different from Awakening and Fates. Because in Awakening and Fates, you get the child, and then they join your main team. But in Genealogy, it's 2 separate teams, and you get access to the second team after like the halfway point of the game.
Yeah, but they still inherit a lot of things, because in that game you could also inherit a lot of the children also inherit their parents' skills, and and weapon. And this time they inherit their weapons as well, because I'm like, oh, because I'm already having like a brave sword at the beginning of the first chapter of the second generation. I'm like, okay, let's do this. Let's do this.
That's cool. A blessed sword got me through some parts of Echoes. I just gave Kamui that, and he was like,
Oh yeah, yeah.
oh man.
Fire Emblem Echoes. God, I want to replay the game, but I'll probably wait for a year to happen until I replay it.
No, I feel the same way. That's a.
I may just go back. Like, I was trying to say, I may just go back. Wait till like next year, and maybe get back on that.
The
I need a break.
thing about Echoes is it doesn't seem to have as much base content as Awakening and Fates. Because in Awakening and Fates, you could play those games for hours. And
Yeah.
I think it took me like 30 hours to beat Echoes, and then
Yeah, I was
the
around
game
like the
done.
28-hour mark.
And
But it's also a lot more. I think it has, because its story is a lot shorter. It also has a lot more opportunities to, like, the chapter cutscenes always seemed way more important than they did in Awakening. I felt like in Awakening, some of the story moments, even though as a whole were pretty good, I think like the small chapters in between was sort of breaking up the pacing too much.
You have a point.
yeah, but I think another
I like
factor.
how when after that it was just like crunch.
No, sorry, that was just
Yeah,
Monetized
yeah,
me, Cap.
alright.
But
It's
I,
okay.
wait.
I think another element about why Echoes is much shorter is that it's a remake of Fire Emblem 2 on the Famicom or the NES,
Yeah.
the
Okay.
Japanese
Yeah.
NES. But
Okay, I was gonna say, which one's the remake?
That was the remake. That was.
so I think that plays a huge factor in why the game is so short, because that was like it doesn't have like as many of the features that Awakening introduced. So
Granted, like games like Dragon Quest, which I did beat, and that was hell, are still like a good 30 hours long.
So like the first Dragon Quest?
Yes, because it requires so much grinding. The same thing
Yeah.
with the first Fire Emblem game. Sorry, not
And with
Fire
the
Emblem.
first other game.
The Final Fantasy game. All those games are crazy long, but mostly due to grinding.
Yeah.
Yeah, same with the first Mother game.
Mm-hmm.
oh god, I've seen a video on the first Mother game. I don't want to touch that.
I haven't seen it. I don't know if I want to touch Mother yet.
I think it was the
I
Johnny
mean, I'd hope
review
not,
that
Douglas.
some Call
I
Me
know
Johnny's
you-
review that I actually saw. So you should go check that out, Douglas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've never been interested in the Mother series, besides because it just didn't seem interesting to me.
How
But
dare you?
I'll give it a chance, maybe eventually, probably never.
Basically
Real-
me
Oh,
with
come on.
Basically
basically me with
Earthbound is really fun.
basically me with Pikmin. Except I think the one thing that kind of got me my interest was basically the Wonderful 101. That is something I want to try out.
Oh, yeah, I
This is
saw that.
basically Pikmin on steroids.
I saw Wonderful 101 for $15 at GameStop yesterday.
A lot of people in the Countdown Committee will mention, well, at least some people in the Countdown Committee will mention that game. So I'm just like,
Yeah.
I want to try this out. I want to try this.
Yeah,
Like
I
top
noticed
10
that. It was
games
very
no one
popular
played.
amongst those people.
Jackson, what did you need to say something?
No, it's like top 10 games no one's played, and like my number 9. 101 would be on the list. So thankfully, no one played my number 9.
Ugh. It's so... Mighty Number 9 is so mediocre.
I've never played Mighty Number 9, but man, I have such a huge blast with Mighty Gunvolt Burst.
Yeah.
I play it and I'm like, I know that these have characters from that apparently a really bad game, but this game is so much fun. How could this possibly be based off of a bad game?
Here's the thing. I don't think Mighty Number 9 is inherently terrible. I just think it's very mediocre, and I would rather play the classic Mega Mans over it, personally.
Okay. That's like, it looks fine gameplay wise, but I can see what a lot of people have problems with it. That's just me. I'm not a die
It
hard.
also graphically, it kind of looks like crap.
Yeah, I heard that
Didn't
too.
help that
People
the
were trying to
dark
justify it, though. People were trying to justify it, saying, "Oh no, it's going for the Dreamcast look. Get the fuck out of here."
Can we make a Mega Man game for the Dreamcast?
That would be cool. I would have liked to see Legends run on the Dreamcast.
Yeah, that would have been cool. Maybe we wouldn't have had long load times.
Yeah. Man, Mega Man Legends. I don't know how I feel about them.
I still haven't played them.
They're just, again, it's one of those cases where it's like, this is okay, and I get it, and I kind of, the Mega Man series, I always really like their design so much that it almost makes the game worth it just to appreciate them, which is interesting. Like,
the aesthetic is awesome.
Mega Man NT Warrior, not NT Warrior, Battle Network, and the Star Force series. I love their art. I actually have the art books on my shelf for them.
Nice.
Just because I like the artwork for them so much. And that for Legends, the concept art for all of it looked amazing, and that almost made me want to play the games. And I beat them, and I was like, oh, this was okay.
I always wanted to play.
Have you seen the Battle Force anime series? Not Battle Force, Battle Network anime series.
Oh yeah, no,
that's the
I
thing
watched
that got me.
It.
That's the thing that got me into Mega Man in the first place. Because I'm like, okay. I remember watching that when I was a kid, and I was enjoying it. Well, the thing that always confused me one time, every time I went to the laundry room, they had the Marvel vs. Capcom cabinet over there. So when I always picked Mega Man, I'm like, why does he look so much different from what he does?
Yeah.
Like, that's Mega Man? Why does he look so different? But I didn't know about
I actually have one of the PETs. I have Mega Man's PET. And I had Proto Man's at some point, but I think I gave it away to somebody. I'm so happy that I have one. It's wonderful.
So the reason I got into Mega Man was actually because of Smash, because they announced him for Smash, and I was like, huh. I guess I should check out this guy's games now, just because I've heard of him before, but like he's in like my favorite crossover game of all time, so I guess I
Mega
should
Man's
see what he's all about.
Mega Man's a reminder that I suck at platformers. I try to play Sonic Mania, I try to play the Mario games, I try to play Mega Man. I die so much. I appreciate everything that it's doing, but I just suck at them, and so I just stop playing. I did beat Sonic Mania though.
But did you
which
get the
after a
true
lot
ending?
of trial and error. No.
Okay.
Wait, is it true ending?
You should get the true ending.
I will eventually. It's just like the game kicks my ass so much that I don't feel determined. It's not like Dark Souls where no, I can do this. I'm like, well, shit, I fell into another pit of spikes.
Should I say the thing about Mania's true ending?
I played it.
I want to play it eventually. Then again, for story reasons, I think the only thing I really cared for is like Sonic Forces. That looks interesting.
Right, we were supposed to talk about that, weren't we?
Because
because yes, what?
Okay, so I'm not gonna spoil the ending for Mania.
Okay.
But
Yay.
it's a very popular theory, and there's multiple signs of evidence that contribute to this theory that Mania is actually a prequel to Forces from classic Sonic's point of view.
What?
Whoa,
Oh, yeah.
crazy.
Oh, yeah.
So is this like the ground zeros to Metal Gear 5?
I mean, if Sonic Forces plays exactly like Mania, I'm going to be really surprised.
No, when I say that, I mean in terms of story.
Yeah, I know.
I wish it was gameplay-wise. That would be amazing.
I'm a little bit worried about Forces, to be perfectly honest.
I figured as much.
I mean, like I'm not the largest fan of Sonic, but I bought Generations for a reason, because it looked super fun. Forces, though, I'm going to buy it probably, but I don't know. I don't know how I feel about the Sonic franchise in general at this point, because it's just like I want to buy the game, but I also don't want to support it if it's crap.
Yeah, I'm the biggest fan here, and I'm.
Oh, I love Sonic too.
Like, I like Sonic too. I haven't been too determined with Sonic yet, because the only game that I really own are the first three. Now that I have the Sega Genesis console, and technically the first game is the freaking party game.
Wait, do you have Sonic Shuffle?
Yes.
Holy
We
shit!
should go to your house and play it.
Holy shit, Sonic Shuffle, man, the worst party game.
I didn't think it was really that bad. I have like.
I
pretty
don't
sure
know,
you can
man. Have you seen Eminem's Beach Party?
about Kate and Ashley's 16th birthday party. 16th.
Oh, that too. Or the Sonic Secret Rings multiplayer mode.
Oh.
See, I had fun with that game as a kid.
Yeah, I mean, like, but Sonic Forces in general, like, I hope they get the Generations format, and I hope they stick with that Generations format for the next game.
Here's
Please.
the reason why I'm worried. The things I've been hearing about it from people that have played it are not sounding too good. So you got Modern Sonic, right?
Yeah.
He apparently feels more stiff than in Generations.
Ooh,
He feels
yeah.
more like he's like on a lane, and when you hold straight, it feels like you're going straight. Because in Generations, you could like move left and right, right? So
Yeah.
and then Forces, what I've heard it described as, is like being in a lane.
That's frustrating. Because like I understand the need to not want to go back to the. I personally think that Adventure it controls a little bit too loosely, but it still controls well. But Generations I think was a really good balance, and if that feeling stiff is going to make a lot of the boost gameplay super difficult.
The way that Sonic and Shadow control in Sonic Adventure 2 has been, in my opinion, the best 3D gameplay style they've gotten, because that doesn't feel as loose as Adventure 1. It feels it's not as slippery as Shadow or Heroes, because that's the main reason I don't like those games. Is it's way too slippery. I can't.
Oh yeah, the floor is nice.
I cannot enjoy those games because of how slippery the characters feel. They seem to go all over the place. But with Adventure 2,
have you ever fully beaten the Hedgehog?
So.
Wait, what, Jackson?
Have you ever beaten Shadow the Hedgehog like fully?
Oh yeah, I have.
I did.
You poor souls.
Only one.
I only did one round of it, and I just quit after that. I'm not going to get the other endings.
That could have been a fun game if he controlled good. He's too slippery, so that ruins everything, in my opinion. Also, the graphics are fugly. Same with Heroes.
Yeah.
My opinion.
I think it's one of those. I think it looked good for the time-ish, but I don't think it's one of those cases where they just didn't age well.
Well, mainly Shadow because of its color palette. Like, there's so much purple, so much dark, black, red everywhere. Heroes
also, they look
really and looks better.
Well, both of them look so plasticky. It's like it's crazy.
Model-wise, yeah.
Yeah, I don't like the models at all. Like, and they kind of use those models again for Secret Rings, which I don't like. I just don't like those models. They need to stop.
Sonic
Thankfully,
Colors.
they did after.
It's time to stop.
I do.
Which I'm so glad Unleashed got new models finally.
Yeah, that's what I call edgy. But yeah,
So yeah, guys, I'm going to leave here soon for work.
All right. Well, thanks for joining, man.
Thanks for joining, Jackson.
Well, welcome. See you guys. Nice meeting you.
Yeah.
I guess it's just us three now.
It's just the three of us.
What I was saying was, in Forces, the way modern Sonic control seems to be stilted from Generations, from what I've heard, which annoys me because it's like Generations was so much fun.
Generations is my favorite Sonic game.
It's up there. It's up there for me because I also have Sonic 3 and Knuckles and Mania, and it's hard to top those games in my opinion because I just have so much fun with them. So, but Generations is definitely up there. But I don't know, and then the level design is kind of bare bones. It feels more. I know that this isn't the right term to use. But it almost feels lazy compared to what they did in Generations, based on level.
Yeah.
And the same can be said for classic Sonic 2.
I mean,
Which-
luckily, we've only seen like the trailers have only been around like the beginning levels, so maybe they expand more if they're using the goddamn same formula and recreating levels, which I really hope they don't. Then
Yeah.
hopefully those will be better.
I think it works.
You see, that's
By the
the
way-
thing that pisses me off too. Is so we have Green Hill Zone back again, right?
Fuck.
And wait, you didn't know that?
No, I didn't. But that makes me very upset.
They're making memes of it like almost everywhere, man.
Oh yeah. Okay, so Green Hill Zone is back, and just recently they announced. They didn't announce it. They just showed it in a screenshot, and I didn't notice that it was at first. But if you look
Mhm.
closely, it's very clearly Chemical Plant. It's just much darker, and it's outside.
That's too. You see, I don't get why they can't. I understand maybe using the same motifs. That's what Sonic 2 basically did in a lot of cases. But it use those motifs and make something new. You get sick of nostalgia.
To be
I like
fair,
the
if you look in the cutscenes that they've shown snippets of in the trailers, like the Infinite trailer,
Mhm.
you do see new stages in there.
Yeah.
You see, like, there's one forest-looking area. There's that might be Casino Forest, which was something that they announced recently. So there's a forest area. They have a place that kind of looks like Grand Metropolis, but from Heroes, but it's not Grand Metropolis. It just looks kind of like it. Stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
and then of course there's the city level, which I think
Yeah.
I like the aesthetic of the city level. I think it's cool for one stage.
Mhm.
Like
I
like
want to
those
see
levels.
the city level be like a Tokyo, like a Neo Tokyo thing.
Like
I
like
always
those,
love those settings.
Like I like the post-apocalyptic city for one level. I don't want the
Mhm.
entire game to be based around a post-apocalyptic world.
Yeah.
For Sonic specifically, I think Crisis City and Generations was a good example of that.
Okay.
Mhm.
But
Oh man, they made the Sonic 06 playable in some aspect. Which, by the
Yeah.
way, that was my first Sonic game.
yeah, my first Sonic was Sonic 3 and Knuckles, so we're worlds apart, Jack.
Yeah. I got my
That's-
Xbox 360, and my uncle said, "Okay, what game do you want for it?" And I'm like, the Sonic one."
Sonic.
And god damn, I hated it. I hated it so much. Like, I never touched the Xbox 360 until 6th grade. I got it in 1st grade.
Wow.
I mean, yeah, bad in first impression will do that too, but I had a pretty excellent first impression of the series, so.
Yeah. I mean, like, before then, I mean, a little bit afterwards, I watched Clement from the second I got onto YouTube, basically, and I watched all of his Sonic stuff, and it still seemed interesting to me. And I did play Sonic on my friend's Sega Genesis when he had one, which was really weird, because growing up, I never thought it was weird those retro consoles were retro, because I just grew around people that had them. And then it's like, oh, these are actually old. Are they?
Well, I do say that I like Sonic Adventure 2 and Generations and all that stuff. I did like Lost World 2. I know that game gets a lot of hate, but I did like it.
It's just different.
it's
I don't
different.
know. Yeah. I don't think it's inherently bad, though.
I think a sequel to it where they improve upon it would be welcome,
Mhm.
but I know they're not going to do it because of how panned it got.
Stop changing the goddamn formula.
And
You're-
which disappoints me because I did like the style they were going for in Lost World, but
Mhm.
popular opinion is popular opinion. If most Sonic fans don't like that, it's fine. But
Yeah.
Yeah,
those
basically.
aren't my all-time favorites. My all-time favorite is Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and then most recently Mania. So I think at this
Mhm.
point I would consider myself more of a fan of those types of Sonic games, the 2D Genesis style ones, which makes me wish that because Sonic Mania is basically the Mega Man 9 of Sonic, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be awesome if they just made a new Sonic series and it was the classic Sonic series, like how they have the classic Mega Man series and all those different Mega Man worlds?
Yeah. Yeah, I hope that the team Christian Whitehead,
Yeah, Christian Whitehead and
I
Stealth.
hope Sega gives them the green light to just continue with the Mania series.
Yeah, because they could get so much more mileage out of the series just from those games alone, just Mania-like games alone. Like, just spread them out over, like, 3 or 4 years, and here comes the money.
Woo!
Yeah. And I think this is just something in general that I've noticed. The 2D games are a lot more tightly designed than the 3D games. The 3D games have a lot of different gameplay styles going on, and also they're bigger. They're just bigger, and I think it spreads out a lot of the resources. I think Sonic Colors did that well, but some stages are also I don't like a lot of the stages in Sonic Colors.
Yeah, a lot of them were filler stages, which is
Filler.
There's that. Planet Wisp had this one stupid stage that lasted forever.
Which
I
one?
remember. I don't remember, but I remember sitting there, like not sitting there, but like playing it for way too long for a Sonic stage.
Asteroid roller coaster, Planet Wisp.
No, Planet Wisp. It was in Planet Wisp.
Okay.
I forgot which one it was though. I just remember spending an ungodly amount of time in there.
it feels like for Colors, like the most memorable acts for me was Act 1 for each stage, because those are the main 3D ones, and then the rest of them will have some 3D but are mostly 2D, which they're still fun. Don't get me wrong, but it's kind of disappointing after just doing a really excellent 3D stage. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which I can understand
Sonic
why
Colors.
they did that.
Sonic Colors for the DS also had a pretty good 2D stages.
Oh yeah, but that's based off the Rush formula, Sonic Rush.
Yeah.
So. Also,
I remember.
That game had a supersonic final boss, which Sonic Colors on the Wii didn't, which was interesting.
Yeah, but it did have a really good theme, which I still listen to on occasion.
Mm-hmm.
Reach for the Stars Orchestrated is great. Although now listening to music, it's really weird because I start to notice that a lot of video games still use synths. Like Pokemon still use synths. They don't use organic instruments. And I didn't realize it until I think this year that was a thing. When I started researching more and learning more about music production and synths and stuff like that.
I think BlazBlue kind of did that, at least for the first two games. At least like with Chronoplasma, I feel like they used real instruments, because if I played one of the songs right now, then I'm pretty sure you guys may consider it real. I don't know.
Sometimes it's hard to tell. But again, games like Pokemon, you can clearly tell those aren't real instruments. I think it's also after hearing there was a Power Rangers orchestrated theme, like with all the songs, I think up to Samurai, and those instruments sounded super fake. And then I listened to Reach for the Stars orchestrated, and those sounded the exact same.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I appreciate how Nintendo has been doing their music recently, because Super Mario Galaxy had a full orchestra, and they brought the orchestra back for Galaxy 2, and the music in that game was fantastic. But and then for
Big
3D
Band
World, they had the big band, and for Mario Kart 8 too, they had the big band. So I appreciate them getting all these groups together to do this, and that also reminds me that Sonic Forces has the London Symphony Orchestra working on the orchestrated theme for that game.
Ooh, cool.
Which that's really cool.
I mean, Sonic has always had great music, so at the very least.
Oh yeah, John Sonoda does some really awesome rock tracks for the series.
Yeah. So wait, when is Sonic Forces supposed to be coming out?
It is coming out on a week after Mario Odyssey.
Ooh.
If you think that's bad, well, Fire Emblem is coming out a week before Mario Odyssey, so they both have it rough.
Yeah, I mean, at least the Switch is getting a lot of games around that time.
Wait, you know what?
To get buried under Odyssey. You know this.
Yeah, I know.
Wait, when is Fire Emblem coming out?
Fire Emblem Warriors is coming out a week before Mario Odyssey, and Sonic
Forces
is coming out a week after Mario Odyssey.
Oh, you're talking about Warriors. I thought you were talking about the next game title that's coming out in 2018. Like, when?
Oh, no, not the actual Fire Emblem. That one's not coming till next year. Which, I think they also have the new Pokemon stated for next year. Which,
Yes.
pretty amazing that they're coming out with so many games so fast. It's like the opposite of the Wii U, you know?
Yeah, and it's good. I think actually the game release schedule is pretty well paced as well. So I can finish up one Switch game and then move on to the next. Except for Splatoon.
It also helps that even during the small gaps, they have a bunch of indie stuff coming out. Like Blaster Master Zero and Mighty Gunvolt Burst. I'm still getting mileage out of those games because like they released free DLC for them. So
Oh, has the physical copy of Gunvolt 2, 1 and 2 come out yet for Switch?
Nope, that comes out at the end of this month on the 31st.
Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely getting the physical copy version of it because I just like having it around.
Yeah, same. It also helps that it comes with all of the DLC for Gunvolt 2, which it wasn't huge DLC, but some of it was pretty cool. Like you could fight the bosses from Gunvolt 1 as Copen.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
I loved Gunvolt when I got on the 3DS. It was such a surprise too because I just sort of saw the trailer randomly and I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll pick it up, and then I just played that until I beat it. And it was great.
I'm pretty sure I heard of Gunvolt through Runbow, but and I got the first game when it was on sale during a winter Nintendo sale, and I liked it. But I was like, you know what? I like this game. I'll get the sequel when it comes out. And I got the sequel. I was like, this blows the original out of the water in like every way.
Yeah, I was waiting until the Switch physical copy to play too, though. It looks really fun though.
Like no joke, Gunvolt 2 is probably my favorite game of 2016. For that,
nice,
really?
Nice.
Like, if it's not my #1 favorite, it's in the top 3 because. I do know that we also got like Spirit of Justice and Fates that year, but Gunvolt 2 was such a blast. I really love that game.
Nice.
The 2017 has been such a great year for games, despite everything else going on in the world. But the 2017 has been so fantastic for video games, I think.
Persona 5, Nier Automata, Fire Emblem Echoes, Fire Emblem Heroes, Super Mario Odyssey. It's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yep. That's so true. Oh yeah, you got the date wrong, Colin. It's not the 31st. It's called Halloween. We have a thing on there. There is a thing scheduled on there. There's a thing.
Oh, I just sort of want to see on Halloween just a bunch of Mighty Gunvolt cosplayers walking around the town.
It's just all day, everyone.
All on Switches.
That kind of reminds me at the Tokyo Game Show, they had this cosplayer that had the Switch on his head. He also was holding the Switch, but was connected to the box on top of his head.
Oh my god.
So you could see the game that he was playing on the Switch, like from both sides, because it was a Switch cosplay, and he was playing Gunvolt 2.
Wow. That's amazing.
I think at another point, a different video got him playing ARMS. So it was just
nice.
It was just a really unique cosplay. If you want, I can share it with you guys.
Yeah.
But yeah. Also, it feels like Tokyo Game Show doesn't really have that many announcements for games. Like it feels like they announce the games before the show. And then the show is just them like showing like gameplay footage or something.
That's how Persona 5 was. From 2014 to the 2017, it was like that. Man, I should look up if they release more footage of the dancing games that are coming out.
Oh, yeah, I haven't seen any footage of them since their announcement. I feel like Game Explained would do a video on that.
Yeah.
Well, I think they did, but it's so minor. Like, there's not a lot. Like, basically, it's like, oh, hey, here's this environment. Oh, hey, like, there's barely any references. It's a dancing game, you know. But the Persona 3 assets are there now, the HD assets, and I want Persona 3 remade. Persona 3 is to me personally, is the best game of all time, and nothing will beat it.
Not even Persona 5.
No, yeah, I mentioned it earlier, but I think Persona 5 is objectively the better game, but Persona 3 still, to me, has at least to me, has a much better story. And it hits a certain spot with me emotionally. Like I cried the first time I played Persona 3. I cried so hard at the end, and I played it again last year, and I cried again. You know, media doesn't do that to me. I don't cry during media.
Yeah, so I have
watch
not
stuff.
shed tears for a single pop culture thing yet in my life.
That kind of sounds like me and the world no, not World Gallinos. I'm an idiot. the world, the world. Well, that's too, but that's a different story.
Yeah.
The World Ends With You.
I still need to play
that's
that
a game that I really love, but I can see why it's not for everyone because the gameplay is just so unique, and it uses both screens of the DS, and you have to pay attention to both screens at the same time.
Yeah.
But the story there and the characters, I just love it so much. Like, that game was excellent. I love it. But I can see why some people might not like it because
kind of me
gameplay.
A bit me with Awakening Story, at least for me. When I go around like seeing comments on a lot of YouTube channels, some people will say, "Oh, Awakening Story was mediocre," or "Oh, Awakening Story."
Oh,
was
I love Awakening Story. That hit all of the right points for me.
Like that story got to me. I really enjoyed that. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to think of if I want to say Awakening was my favorite, or that goes.
Like, I really like time traveling stories, so the way Awakening handled it, I thought was really well done, and I love it.
Yeah, but they did a pretty good way of doing that. I really did like the ending, maybe because it was my first Fire Emblem ending that I basically beat, but I thought that was pretty touching.
Yeah, Sacred Stones was my first Fire Emblem game, but Awakening was the first one I beat.
Yeah. Same.
I remember Jack tried to help me get into the Fire Emblem when he let me play a little bit of Sacred Stones on his DS. I didn't really get too far into it.
I still haven't been in Sacred Stones. Sacred Stones kicks my ass in this one stage, and apparently, also Sacred Stones apparently is one of the easier games.
See, Sacred Stones, I played it, and I was like, "Hey, this is actually kind of fun." So I kept playing it, and then I got excited for Awakening, and then I realized I had no idea what I was doing in Sacred Stones, so I restarted it like 3 times.
Same. Although I guess I've also just Fire Emblem is weird because it's Fire Emblem and Pokemon Conquest. Both of those games are the only tactics RPGs I actually enjoy. Most other ones I'm not a big fan of. Like I beat Final Fantasy Tactics, and I wasn't a huge fan of the gameplay.
You know, I started Pokemon Conquest a few times ago. I was on the Thunder one. Like, I just stopped after the Thunder chick, whatever, the one with the Shinx. But it wasn't too challenging. I just put it away just for Blaze Blue for a second. But that's just. I am enjoying that game.
Yeah. I love the artwork in Pokemon Conquest as well. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, that looks good.
Yeah, like I was saying, I've been enjoying Stellar Glow recently. So.
Stellar Glow, it was the 4th game in the series, right?
Is there a series?
I thought it was. I remember. Hold on, let me look it up.
I know that there are games made by the same developer, but.
Oh no, never mind. I guess I was confusing it with something else. I could have. It looks. I guess the same artist worked on it. Than from another series that I'm thinking of, because it looks very similar to another series. Yeah, I don't know. Is this an Atlas game? No, it isn't.
It's published by Atlas in America.
It's published by Atlas, of course.
Wait, which game?
Stellar Glow.
Okay. All I remember from that demo was the fact that Bryce Papenbrook voiced in there. So.
Actually, that wasn't Bryce what did you just say? That guy's name? Bryce Papenbrook. It was the same guy that does the voice for Tobin and
Oh, Robbie Drummond.
Yeah.
Like I've just heard him in a lot of things recently. I saw him in the latest Fire Emblem, not Fire. I just heard him in, like the Spider-Man show on Disney XD.
Oh,
Apparently
yeah.
Max Millman.
He also plays a Spider-Man in Infinite.
Hmm.
Oh, I didn't know that. Because also Max Millman's in there, so basically I'm just to the eyes of a Spider-Man, it's just basically just Harry, Peter hanging out. To me, it's just basically just Gray and Tobin hanging out. I'm like, okay, I like this.
He also I think he voiced Eren and Makoto, Attack on Titan and Danganronpa. I think so at least.
He does the voice for Prompto. I think it's his name. Prompto in Final Fantasy 15.
Oh yeah. No, I thought that was Yuri Lothal.
No, I'm pretty sure it was Prompto. I mean, no, I'm an idiot. Sorry. I'm pretty sure it was Robbie.
I don't know.
I also heard it. I think the one thing that I also recently heard him, he was also in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure in the part 2 of the first season. Like he was basically Smokey, the black guy in the show, and he played him very well. But then
I still need to watch JoJo.
Yeah, I
you
do
really
too.
do. You know, it's funny when I watched it dubbed. When I looked at it, I saw how many voice actors were in there and how many voice actors I recognized. I will never look at JoJo Part 2 the same way again because there are like so many Fire Emblem voice actors in that arc.
Fire Emblem JoJo crossover.
Fire Emblem JoJo crossover.
Hey, we almost got a Pokemon and Fire Emblem crossover, so anything's possible.
I mean, I think that was basically Conquest.
No,
I think it was.
no. The thing was, they were going to make a Fire Emblem and Pokemon crossover, but they were already in talks with the developers of Nobunaga's Ambition to do a collaboration game that's done for Pokemon. So that wound
okay.
up getting made instead. And what was the other one? Atlas. They had
Tokyo
deals with
Mirage
Atlas
Session.
to do Tokyo Mirage Sessions. So
I still need to play that game.
I want to play that game.
I bought it day one and I haven't touched it.
I have it. I got it for like $30, like
Mhm.
really cheap. Maybe
You
it was
know-
less than that, but I got it for cheap, and I still haven't played it simply because of schoolwork and stuff, and also other
You
games.
know, it's still funny when Jack mentioned a Fire Emblem cross JoJo crossover because that's basically what Tokyo Mirage Sessions is to me. Guys with Fire Emblem characters as stands.
All right, so this is what's gonna happen. All right, so for the Nintendo Switch version of Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle, they're gonna
Mhm.
have a Fire Emblem character in that etc. section. Switch
Really?
exclusive character.
Ooh,
Could
neat.
you imagine? Wouldn't that be cool?
That would be. Oh, okay. That wasn't real. I thought you just found an article on it.
Say awesome.
No, I
I
would.
mean, yeah.
If I did, I'd probably be reacting the same way as to when I found out Crom and Lucina were in Project Cross Zone 2.
Are those games good? I don't know.
They're good,
I-
but you have to play them like you have to take breaks from them because you can't play them all in one go, or else you'll get tired of it really fast.
Mm,
Yeah,
They're fun.
I still
They are fun, yes, but not playing them constantly.
I'm still halfway through Project Cross Zone myself, and I feel bad because I'm borrowing Colin's copy right now. I'm like, I should finish this. I should.
That happened when I borrowed somebody's Yoshi Island game, and I just sort of had it for like a year, and then and I saw him at school. I'm like, oh yeah, totally forgot to give you this. Oh yeah, and he was like, oh yeah, totally forgot that you took it.
But yeah, apparently those games started with a game called Namco Cross Capcom, but that one was only released
I
in
remember
Japan.
Mm-hmm.
I remember seeing that when I was young. It's like, was there? I'm assuming there was like fan translations of it because it was in English, and I followed that for a bit.
Because it was like Namco Cross Capcom, and then Project Cross Zone is the sequel that adds Sega characters, and then Project Cross Zone 2 is the sequel to that adds Nintendo characters. So I guess they're just adding more companies' characters for each new game.
Say, didn't Project Cross Zone and also add Monolith characters in there?
Yeah, but those are the Xenoblade Chronicles ones are owned by Nintendo.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so eventually they're gonna start adding Activision characters, so all the Call of Duty main characters,
Please no.
which no one can name, I assure you.
Please no. I mean, here's one thing that Project Cross Zone 2 has that Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite doesn't have.
What?
Leon S. Kennedy.
Oh
Ooh.
yeah. Oh yeah. Nice.
Actually. I've been in the mood to play a Resident Evil 4 since it's October and everything.
I've never played
It'd be
Resident
nice.
Evil before. I do know the characters though.
Yeah,
All I know is
actually,
really Jill.
I know Jill, Chris, and Leon.
Yeah. I got Resident Evil 4 for really cheap at a used and everything, and I played it. I haven't played it in a long time though. I think it was like 2012 last time I played it. You guys still there?
Yes, yes.
Okay, sorry. Sorry, it just sounded like you guys were cutting out.
No.
That's really awkward.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
But yeah, I've been meaning to go back to Resident Evil 4 because it's been such a long time. Although I never do. I don't really plan to go back to the original Resident Evil games, to be perfectly honest.
It's just I'll probably watch a walkthrough of them at some point, but I'm not. I'm not the biggest fan of that gameplay style. So.
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever want.
And I don't know if you people would notice this, but I basically only play JRPGs.
No, that's been
That's
me
basically-
recently too. I do like platformers still, but RPGs are my bread and butter so far.
Dude, I'm basically just a fighting game JRPG guy. That's the only things I really care about so far. Too much. Like Super Mario Odyssey, like, oh, that looks cool. I don't know if I want it.
Oh, sorry. Let me clarify. JRPGs in every single Kirby game. I own all of them.
Oh, come on. Mario Odyssey looks fantastic, man.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna get Odyssey, but I don't know when I'll get around to playing it.
I'm working on Pokemon. Fire Emblem, I have a lot of them. I have a lot of things emulated, and the physical copies I have are basically like Awakening, Fate's Conquest, Echoes.
No,
I wanted-
Douglas, you can't pirate. You're going to jail.
Oh, excuse me, that like half the games haven't been released in America yet.
That's why you wait for all the remakes.
You're going to Nihongo jail.
Aren't there? What Path of Radiance was the super expensive one, right?
Yeah, I actually want you like. I know there are like emulators like Dolphin Emulator, but like the Tellius games, the Tellius games are the only games I don't. I actually just want to play on a physical copy.
Yeah. Well, also Dolphin's kind of resource heavy. Like I've used Dolphin before. It takes up a lot of resources, and I have like a really like high end gaming PC. So, ooh. Whoa.
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 It's my favorite.
I know. That reminds me. There's something I was meaning to ask. It was back on the Sonic Forces topic. What do you guys think?
Dark Souls was the Crash Bandicoot Insane trilogy of its time.
What I was trying to ask was, what do you guys think about the character creation idea? I think it looks cool, though.
I think it's cool,
Wait,
but
for what?
also it's totally playing lip service to like the DeviantArt fans, and I love it. The
character
customization.
And what?
Sonic Forces.
Oh, I think I like the concept of it, but I don't think it's being executed very well. Because from the previews I've heard, that the way that Avatar controls is abysmal.
Also, it doesn't. I don't like the design, the customization options. Really, it doesn't. I don't know.
I think the options are cool. Like, did you see the pre-order bonuses, or not pre-order, but like the day one edition bonuses that they have for that game?
I don't believe so.
They're basically
man.
crossover DLC costumes. So they have like costumes from Persona 5, Jet Set Radio, Super Monkey Ball, Puyo Puyo, and a bunch of other stuff.
You see, what I just wanted the Sonic the Hedgehog that was green.
I mean, you can do that, I assume.
Can you?
I mean, yeah, because
I don't know.
Hedgehog is an option.
You know, when I heard you can be many races, I was like excited. I even put on the post like, "Hey, I can be a Echidna," and then Colin had dashed my hopes like, "But the Echidnas are dead." I'm like, "What does he mean?" I'm like, "Remember Sonic Adventures?" I'm like,
Yeah, the Echidna race is extinct, Douglas.
"You could say they came from I came from another dimension or something like that.
Well, to be fair, that is what they're doing with classic Sonic. So.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of that, by the way? What do you think of classic Sonic being from a different dimension now instead of being modern Sonic's past self?
It makes sense. Because they seem like very different characters.
Yeah.
Just in the way that they're presented. Because like the 3D Sonic he's honestly not that impatient. And I don't know, at least how he's written now, he has a lot more of an attitude than classic Sonic ever did. He just got like frustrated at the player.
Well,
That's about it.
I just think it's interesting if they're really trying to like.
I mean, why do you think Sonic has green eyes?
Because, no, what I'm saying is, I think a lot of us, like, growing up, just assumed that modern Sonic retcons classic Sonic. Like, they were the same character, they just had different designs. Like, they're obviously the same character.
Yo, can we have Sonic Boom crossover into Forces? 3 Sonics?
No, Jackson, we have to have...
And then, like,
Adventure Sonic.
So you switch to Sonic Boom Sonic, and then everything slows down to 10 frames per second. Yeah. Shall never smile again. Oh.
See, Jax.
Yeah, some people were campaigning for Dreamcast Sonic for that game. Which, I mean, I would like a return to the Dreamcast style of gameplay, like for Adventure and Adventure 2, like how Sonic and Shadow controlled in Adventure 2. But I think that doesn't really fit for a game like this where there are 3 different styles. I think it would be better to have a game with that style in mind, because I look back at Sonic Adventure, and I'm like, I still think that would have been a good game if it was just the Sonic and Tails sections.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't need to have, like... I mean, I guess Knuckles would be okay, too, but they didn't need to have Gamma and Amy in there, and Big. They could have just had Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, and it still would have been a solid game worth the value of its money.
Well, the thing about that, you know, I do like the trio, but I was fine with the most of the cast that they had there. Like, you got to control one of Eggman's robots. That felt pretty cool.
No, I liked Gamma.
But I can understand why people didn't like Big. I can see that. I can see why.
Which is another reason why I think Adventure 2 is a good sequel. Is because it kind of trims the fat and just keeps the 3 gameplays that most people liked from Adventure 1. So they brought Gamma's gameplay back, but incorporated it into Tails and Eggman stages. They brought back the treasure hunting stages, but they also had Rouge, the new character, in there. And they brought back the Sonic and Tails stages, but they had the new character Shadow in there, and Sonic, of course. So I thought it was a good idea for a sequel, because it just trims the fat, you know what I mean? And there's also no hub world, so that's more fat.
Although counterpoint is that Adventure 2's treasure hunting is far worse than Adventure 1's.
That is true, but that could have been easily fixed if I don't know why they decided to make it. Oh, you have to find them in this specific order.
Yeah.
Like,
you know,
if they had fixed that, it would have been fine.
I heard like Rouge's stages were probably the worst. Like I look at Knuckles' and let's say they look decent. I hear a lot of people did not like Mad Space or the Security Hall.
Yeah, fuck Mad Space.
Security Hall is just basically Rouge's fault for being too cocky.
I can do it in 5 minutes. Yeah. Although also, every game has some bit of it that's kind of, eh.
I mean, that's why sequels exist. You know, it's supposed to like take what people liked from the previous entry and improve upon it. Something that Forces ain't doing. No, I'm kidding.
Persona 5 actually did something that I did not like. Like as a lesson in what not to do in a sequel.
What was that?
One of the story elements, one thing that really sucks about the Persona series is that the social links and the main story aren't connected. So so the development of one of the characters in the story, like they don't get the same development as they did in the social link. So even though the social link makes them a full mature person, in the story they make a stupid mistake that shouldn't have happened because you did the social link.
Yeah.
Which like that bugged me in Persona 4 and Persona 5. They did that to the best boy in each game.
Oh, you're talking about Ryuji and Yosuke?
Ryuji and Yosuke both do stupid ass shit that they shouldn't be doing according to their social links.
That also
And it's
reminds
really
me
annoying.
of a complaint some people had with Fates, is that
Mhm.
apparently like some characters like Xander are better written in the support conversations, but in the
Yeah.
actual like main story, it's not as good.
Yeah. That's what a lot of people. That's probably like what a lot of people had with Korn in general. Like I like the guy, but I feel bad. I also feel bad for Guy because he gets a lot of crap. He gets a lot of crap.
Yeah, I feel sorry for her too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I feel bad for Korn in general.
Is there a canon gender for each one?
Well, from what I got from like the Choose Your Legends banner, a lot of people like the male Robin, and a lot of people prefer the female Korn more. So
Okay.
those
Yeah,
are most
I
of
was
the
just
popular
wondering
ones.
because I know in Heroes that the male Robin is there and the female Corrin is there as well.
You mean Warriors?
Warrior, sorry. Bleh, fucking.
I was thinking they're both in Heroes, but they're also both in Warriors as well.
Yeah, but for the main story, it's male Robin and female Corrin, so that's like the canon ones for those games. In that case.
I still think that the female customization options aren't. I mean, the customization options in both Fire Emblem games weren't super great.
Yeah.
Because you very limited on hairstyles and faces.
All it did for me when I was playing, what I did with Robin is I just gave him long red hair. I didn't really plan on changing him.
I just changed the hair color and the eye color in Fates' case, and I was satisfied. Like the design, the default design is already pretty cool for each one.
Yeah.
I wanted to look like me.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to do that until though a lot of people may not want this in the next game, if they ever do
play as your me as the main character in a fucking
yes. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Wait, what?
The possibilities.
The possibility.
Like, you know that one support conversation in Fates where it's the ninjas doing ... Yeah, imagine the me doing that for every single line of dialogue he has in the game.
Hells yeah.
Man, if we're doing that, just put red in the game.
You know, I just remembered, that's actually an option you can do for Robin in the Japanese version of Awakening. It's just have him go ...
So basically just
make him
squall
a silent
mode.
protagonist.
I remember The Walking Dead could do that too. The Walking Dead Telltale games could do that. As what Johnny said on their SGB playthrough, you could just enter your squall mode.
I've seen a playthrough of it of Lee just being as silent as possible, and it's really funny. There are some, yeah. Also, it's like approaching to 5 o'clock.
Oh yeah. Well, we
true.
talked about a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
It's been really fun.
It really has.
Like we have been talking for almost 2 hours now. It's been an hour and 43 minutes of recording.
I mean, I also haven't seen you guys in a very long time.
Yeah, same here. I haven't really got a chance to see you after the orientation.
Yeah, and I haven't seen you at all. Like, the last time I can remember you came over was for my birthday party, 1 year.
Oh, yeah, that was really long ago. Woo.
We should get together sometime, man. Maybe grab a bite to eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this would be good. This would be a good spot to stop recording because this file size is going to be massive.
True.
Yeah,
True.
And I also have editing to do. And by editing, I mean probably slapping a picture of like Crom, like half naked with the falchion, the same poster that what's his name, Frederick, that puts all over camp.
Yeah.
I want you for Crom's army.
Oh my gosh. I may just keep the file.
I wonder if anyone's ever done a fan art of that. It'd be hilarious if they did.
I searched up Crom mousepad. I regret the search. I regret this.
Yeah, it's just that one scene in the beach DLC episode where he's just in his swimming trunks.
Yeah.
Oh god. It's okay, Douglas. Just search a Darja mousepad and you'll be good.
Yes.
Oh, jeez.
Speaking of her, if she is not in Warriors, someone's gonna die. Someone in IS is gonna die.
Don't worry,
I will.
she'll be DLC at the very least.
Yeah, if she's not DLC or not in that game at all, I will kill someone.
Oh, by
and
the way,
I blame.
Jack, do you want to go? Or I'll ask you after this is over. Anyway, thank
Alright.
you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed a bunch of nerds talking about various games. You know, now it just
Yeah.
occurred to me we haven't talked that much about anime, but I guess that's something we can do next time if there is.
That yeah, that's later.
Because I mean, damn, now I want to talk about anime now. But
Yeah.
I have D&D night to attend to in a little while, so I'd have to head
Douglas
out.
and I have anime club too, and that's
Yeah.
starting
Yeah.
in an hour. So
Initial D.
Initial D.
Hells yeah.
Oh man, running in the 90s was so exciting to hear.
It was so great.
It's amazing.
Anyway, thank you for tuning in. Have a wonderful night and stay frosty.
See you guys.
See ya.